it goes. I always forget.
Rhodes, how's everybody doing?
Hey guys.
How you doing, Brent? Happy Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Another crazy ass week in crypto. Didn't do the stream last week. We only had a few of us available, but stoked to be back on here with you guys. We see in the chat, what's up, Jinxie? What's up, Panda? This one's going to be a good one. It's coming at a really good time. For those of you who've been on the stream a couple times, we've had my boy Max here on a few times. For those of you guys who are new to Max, definitely check him out on Twitter. But Max has 4 decades of experience in the traditional finance realm, as well as buying Ethereum and Bitcoin pretty fucking early. Ethereum under $7. And so I really wanted to have him on today and do a little bit different of a show where he can kind of talk about a little bit about his experiences. He made a great tweet today that kind of goes over this, where he kind of has lived through 2008. He's lived through the dot-com crisis. He's lived through all these different things. Today we'll talk a little bit about those experiences and kind of compare to what we're looking at now, as well as everything that's going on with regulatory clarity and all that. I'm super stoked to have Max on today. I see in the chat, what's up, I Pay Tax? What's up, Mike? So the way we'll start the show, which we always do, is go over something called the Rhodes Review that we do with our boy Rhodes here, which will go over kind of everything, a quick summary of everything that's gone on the last week. And then after that, we'll go specifically into the tariff talks. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on with the crypto strategic reserve, regulatory clarity, and all that. So before we get to that, Rhodes, you want to go ahead and take over, brother?
Yeah. So over this last week, really the last few days, let me hide the trading view here. I crashed my system here just before as you're talking. So
Great.
Here we go. So yeah, right. Last few days we had our strongest daily total move on Bitcoin, and then followed by one of our worst days ever. Really, that was spurred off by a bit of market manipulation. Really, at the end of the day, I think it looks like a bit of a Trump family kind of pump and run. At least some of the 50x longs that occurred, etc. But positive news. But really, a lot of what we've already heard over the weekend, in the sense that the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, or Bitcoin Reserve, along with some other assets, and with that, we've seen a really rally, and then kind of with that massive rally, we've seen a retracement as things kind of fell back to earth, and we're overall trending on the upward side here, but massive volatility overall in the market. Of course, memes and alts getting even larger swings, etc. Market cap, and this might be on one of our previous shows, but I still thought this was interesting. Below 2021 highs over the last few days here. Tariff trade war has begun between Canada, Mexico, etc., and then countermeasures as well falling through and creating a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of worries of unrest. Of course, there's also the Ukraine situation and the stopping of funding of the Ukraine or towards Ukraine and the war. So lots going on the macro side of things to cause a bit of volatility, or not a bit, but a lot. State Bitcoin reserves continue to progress. Recently, there was the Texas one pushing a bill forward. I think this is where you're going to see a lot of the tailwinds for the reserve buying, et cetera, because the states are the ones that can really kind of push that narrative. And once they start, then you'll get countries, et cetera. So, still a lot of positive macro news in terms of crypto and Bitcoin. SEC has dropped the Yuga Labs and Kraken cases. So they continue to expel all of their cases. I saw also as well on the timeline a $50,000 bounty or bonus for any SEC employees that would like to um, leave the organization. Kind of along the lines of Doge, et cetera, where these voluntary departure programs have been allowed for government employees to leave and to cut the excess staff and waste. Happens in the private sector or corporate sector, but also happening now in the government sector. And it's a pretty effective way of trimming staff and then allowing the pieces to be picked up afterwards and et cetera. AI market cap is down 6% to 5.3 billion, near one of its lowest marks on the AI meme side of it. NFTs volume is pretty steady.
Real quickly,
Yeah.
I do see you guys in the chat, Siddharth, Patrick, Ablo. I do see you guys from the channel, coming from the Telegram channel. Welcome. What we're doing right now, for those just hopped in, we're just doing a little review of the past few days. After that, we're going to get into the tariff talks with our boy Max here, who has a lot of experience in the traditional finance realm, as well as NFTs, meme coins, AI, all that good stuff. So sorry to interrupt, Rhodes. Keep going, brother.
No worries. Action-packed show. Notable movers on the NFT side of things. Punks up 1.4%, but stable overall, which is great to see. VeeFriends up 21%. I've seen that Gary Vee is on the timeline again, posting up. So up to 1.67 ETH on the VeeFriends Series 1. Ordinal Maxi Biz up 5%, a small bump from 0.033 to 0.036. And then on the meme coin side of things, Doge up 1%. Again, some of the more stable ones, which I think is positive for the overall sign of health for both meme coins and for NFTs in the terms of longevity, to see Doge and CryptoPunks be among the gainers, small be it, but at least gainers, up to 29.5 billion, down only 4.4% on the 7 days, which is pretty good in terms of looking at the meme kind of landscape. Peanut up 4.4%. It was up to about 250 million. So it had rallied a lot more than that, but still up 17% on the 7 days. And FAI up 5.5%. So not a lot of green on the meme coin side of things, but a few winners there. In terms of the forecast on prediction markets, Polymarket, 110K is now is about 17%. It was as low as 11%. This volatility, et cetera, kind of, you could see that rally at any point in time in terms of volatility. But on the downside, we're seeing 70K at 23%, which was as high as 31% recently. And that is the roundup. Let's take it into macro.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Rhodes. Always love that Rhodes review.
Brandon.
I do see in the chat, I pay tax.
Brandon, you're on mute.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear both of you. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Never mind.
Just Rhodes. All right, no worries. So I do say I pay tax. Asked about ALK and SNAP. We'll go over that, brother. I do know our boy Yoni, who's not on today, actually did talk about those two coins on stream. Sean Kennedy, what's up, brother? How you doing? So let's. I'm excited to get into this. We got our boy Max here again. Max, I know I did a quick intro on you earlier, but do you want to give people a quick overview, kind of a brief overview of your background, if you don't mind?
Sure. Started way back, probably when most of the people on this chat weren't even born yet. I don't know. I got into the business in 1982, when the Dow was 901. So I've been blessed in being able to watch, everything we now know today about markets unfolding, from sub 1,000 Dow, every disaster you can think of the last few decades all felt like this one. And every single one of them was a buy. So I don't think this one's going to be any different.
Right on, man. I love that. Now let's go get in. By the way, am I sharing my screen? I don't think I'm on the thing. I think I'm sharing it, but if you want to switch over real quick. Rotes, Danksy. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So let's just get right into it. Tariff talks. I know a lot of a lot of the downside, a lot of the action has kind of been revolved around the tariff announcements. Now, I think as the whole, I'm not a tariff, what's it called, economist or anything like that. Max could have more insight on this type of stuff, but I think as the tariffs, even if they keep happening, what usually happens when as more of these announcements come out, they're gonna have less and less of an effect on the market. And I want to hear what Max has to say and kind of where he sees this going. But Max, as far as the tariffs go, do you think this is going to continue to have an effect on your market? What are your thoughts on kind of overall the tariffs and the last few weeks in the markets in general?
Yeah, I think couple ways to look at this. Some may remember 2019. Of course, COVID sort of blocked everybody's memory of everything before that. But if you recall, 2019, every single day, 6 or 8 times a day, the media would tell us that the China tariff war was going to destroy the U.S. economy. As we all know, that turned out to be monumentally incorrect. And not only that, but the China tariff war that everybody hated Trump for never ended. It lasted the entire breadth of the Biden administration. Of course, no one ever talked about it, but it never stopped. Whatever tariffs we put on China in 2019 are still there. And our economy has never been stronger. So I think what people have to recognize is Donald Trump is one of the first politicians that has arrived in office that does not need to spend 1 millisecond of time getting another vote. And what I don't think people realize is that most politicians spend half of their term actually trying to do a job, which they usually do a pretty piss poor job of. And then they spend the other half trying to make sure they retain their power.
Uh-huh.
So that's an awful lot of wasted energy. And it gives people a perception that that's normal. Well, it's not normal. It's so fucked up, it's not even funny, but we won't get into that. What I think people want to realize is the world is going to get completely changed over the next 4 years because you have an individual who is going to put America first, whether anybody likes it or not. You have an individual that does not care if someone is upset that America will be first. Now, tariffs, the media will tell us that tariffs are this horrible thing that destroys our lives. That's actually not true. And unfortunately, you have to be mentally strong enough to be able to recognize that most of what the media tells you is garbage. You have to just accept that and live a little bit more by your your own knowing. So tariffs are designed for one purpose, and he said it today. He said it today, even as he, bullied everybody around. He stated very clearly, you won't have a single dollar of tariff if you simply bring your production to the United States. You bring your business to the United States and you won't have one single tariff. Now, that all sounds good, but let me tell you what really is going to probably unfold here. The odds are 90% that this is what it will look like after the dust has settled. None of these countries that are having tariffs added to them can afford to have that happen. So what they're first going to do is yell and scream. Then they're going to act tough and beat their chest and say, well, if you're going to put a tariff on us, I'm going to put a tariff on you. That'll last for about 48 hours. And then behind the scenes calls will start happening. And those calls won't be discussed publicly. They won't be discussed by the media, because what there'll be is negotiations for those countries to do what Trump wants them to do. And then once all those deals are cut, I don't know, 6, 8 weeks down the road, then suddenly tone will change. Much like you saw Ukraine make a complete fool out of himself and then 48 hours later come back and sign his deal. Just think of that as a little microcosm of what's happening behind the scenes while the media makes you pay attention to the wrong stuff.
Okay. I love that. Wow. Damn. That was amazing, Max. Max is locked in today. Makes a lot of sense. That I think. So kind of just to summarize what you said, you think just like the China tariffs in the past and a lot of these other things, the media, kind of like you were saying on our stream a few months ago, or I'm sorry, a few days ago, 99 the media makes way more money, gets way more attention, putting out the biggest fear porn, what's
Yeah.
it called, titles out there. And you
Yeah.
think that's more of this going on here?
Yeah, to succeed. Look, I'm gonna say this as bluntly as I know how to say it. To succeed in the next 20 years and the change that's going to come about, you are going to have to make this deal with yourself. The media is poison. And if you partake in it, you will get ill. You must understand you cannot live your life based on what you read in the media. It just won't work.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so beautiful. I on the that's there on the tariffs. No, not this one. Let's move on now to the Trump crypto reserve. I think there wasn't much talk on it for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden Trump came out with that tweet. A lot of people are kind of up in arms because it includes ADA and XRP and stuff as well. A lot of people think Bitcoin should be the only thing in a reserve. Now, Max, a lot of
I
people.
got a question for you about
Yeah,
the
what's up?
media stuff. Um,
Yes.
where where should we start getting information or just being caught up? Because right, if we can't trust, if there's fear mongering on the media, what do we do for up to date information and about what's going on in general?
It's a great question.
That's a great question, and I think let me just I don't want to bore people to death, but the first 20 years of my life, news was delivered by 3 television stations. It was delivered for half an hour a day. Unfortunately, the current generations have been convinced that in order for you to live a productive life, you must have news coming at you every millisecond of the day, no matter where you are or what piece of equipment you have turned on. That's absurd. I think we're going to all have to eventually realize that you can live a productive life without being, having an IV in your veins of news. You don't need the news. You are fully capable of operating on your own and picking up what you will fundamentally understand as the important parts. And you will begin to realize that 98.5% of it, I have to let go in one ear and out the other and try very hard to not be affected by it. That's just the way, I've always lived my life that way. So I realize it sounds strange for someone who's been brought up on technology, which is a whole bunch of, tens of millions of people have lived on technology. And it has unfortunately done you a disservice in one way. And that is, it has convinced you that somehow you're too weak to be able to decide on your own what's false and what's not false. You're going to know, and you're going to build confidence around that. And that's the way life has to work. And the more you don't try to do that, the more you're going to stay lost and worried about all the things that the media wants you to worry about. Look,
Right on.
let me say it this way. Every single day that I've been in business, the world was ending. Every day. There was one reason or another where life was not going to work out very well. If I
Yeah.
bought into that, well, I wouldn't be here talking to you. So, it's a fundamental decision that you must be able to make because you'll do fine without all the news 24 hours a day.
Right on. Love that. Love that. Now, if anyone doesn't have any follow-up questions on that, let's go ahead and move on to the crypto reserve, like we were saying. That was amazing, though, Max. Let's see the crypto reserve, Max. I know we were talking about the what's it, sovereign wealth fund. We thought they would use that to accumulate crypto, but it's interesting. Trump is talking about all these 4 or 5 different coins.
Yeah. Hope so.
On top of, do you think they will? Do you think they will just hold the seized coins in the coins they already have in there?
I think I heard everything you were saying.
Can you hear me?
It was breaking up a little. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were cutting out for a little bit, Brent.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you do it?
Yeah, I think I heard you. I think remember
Yeah.
what
My bad. So I was just saying that this.
Go ahead.
No, I think there might be a delay, but go ahead, Max. I'm listening.
Okay. So keep this as a backdrop in your mind for everyone. Doesn't matter the coin, but remember, as belief in the crypto world picks up, volatility will die down. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, why do we want ADA in the reserve? It goes up 50% a week, or it goes down 50% a week." Well, 5 years from now, it won't. But 5 years from now, when it doesn't do that, it will be way more expensive. So if you are building wealth and the purpose of this reserve is to eventually pay off our debt, then you have to buy cheap while volatility is a benefit, not a curse. And as buy-in becomes normal across the world, then all of these currencies will look much more stable, except they will be multiples of what they cost today. So as stability rises, price skyrockets. That's just the way every asset works. Now, if you're lucky, you stomach the volatility because when everybody else agrees with you, you will be rich.
Absolutely. Now, the crypto White House summit's happening today as well, which is
Friday.
interesting.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Why
Yep.
did I think it was happening today?
Yeah, there's a new announcement saying that they might roll back the Canadian and Mexico tariffs tomorrow.
There you go.
Interesting. Damn, it's already happening. Now that just reminds me right now of the what was I something big. Oh my gosh, I just completely forgot again. But yeah, the crypto summit. There was something really big that happened that the big talk again about the possible capital gains on crypto tax, some kind of announcement around that. Max, do you think that will happen? And then 2, do you think a lot of people think, oh, that's going to immediately cause like a bearish reaction? People are going to sell because they don't have to pay taxes anymore. What are your thoughts on that? And what do you think happens if that is announced?
Well, first of all, the idea of them selling because they don't have to pay tax is foolish because it won't start today. It'll start a year from now. So
Yeah.
you won't see that. And
Interesting.
that's like By the way, that's the same horse shit that everybody says when capital gains taxes go down on stock holdings, because all the idiots say, "Oh, well, my God, if cap gains taxes go from 30 to 20, then the market's going to go into a bear market." That's just garbage. That's non-factual. But that falls into the category of what I just described. You've got to eventually learn to be able to look at data and go, that just fundamentally is false. And you've got to feel that in your gut. You just got to have your own judgments, and you don't have to, you know, be led around with a ring in your nose by the media. You just the the separation of society in the future will be the ability to think on your own. Um, and so yes, they will create an American-based tax benefit. Now, will it be tax-free? I don't think it will. I think he'll say, I want tax-free, and he'll end up at it's half normal capital gains. Remember, everything Trump says is a deal. There's a deal to be made. So when he says I'm a deal maker, everything he says, he's making a deal. He's negotiating. So you just have to accept it. It's just, by the way, it'll benefit you. So don't get all tensed up about it. It's weak-minded to react with fear about what Trump says. Just say to yourself, every time he says something stupid that you think is dumb, just say, well, I'll benefit in the end. And then let the dust settle.
I love that. And I want to stop really in the middle here. We're going to get back to more here of all this great stuff in a second. I want to go to the chat really quick. Carlos says Max has tons of knowledge and hindsight. I know Carlos it's a blessing to have him on here. Alab990 says Max is a blessing, bro. What Bio Earth says would like to know specifically how y'all are playing this market. Yeah, man, we'll take more of questions here after we go over some more topics. Before we get back into it, I really quickly do want to first plug Max's Twitter. He's just starting to get it going. Just got a nice bio on there yesterday. He's going to come out with more tweets. A lot of good content coming from both of us together, as well as from Max himself. So definitely go and check his Twitter out. Follow him. You'll get a lot of good stuff that we're hearing here on the stream daily on Twitter from him as well. And then I do want to definitely check out the Bossman Calls Telegram channel, which I know a lot of you guys are coming from right now. We already have 957 people at least viewed the stream. 30 minutes throughout. That's almost getting like close to like 30% off our record. 30 minutes into the stream. It's amazing, guys. Thank you guys so much for being on. I do definitely go check out the Telegram channel Bossman Calls that I'm in with my partner Bossman. Him and I have been working together now for about 14, 15 months, from 300 members up to, I think we just about to hit 40. I think the biggest thing is we do, apart from the trade ideas and all that, which are great, we put a big emphasis on doing stuff like these streams. Max and I do 2 or 3 of these streams in the Telegram a week. All my write-ups, in-depth stuff, tips and tricks, all that different stuff that I've shared. So definitely go and check that out, along with my boy Bossman, who a lot of great stuff from him as well. So go check that out. And then these B3L guys, I'll let them get a little bit of a plug themselves, but definitely go check out what they're doing. The stream obviously is being run through their page right here, but also as they have a Telegram, Discord. Been doing the stream for, what is this, like 8 or 9 months with these guys, and it's been amazing to see everything grow. So Danksy, would you like to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing as well?
Yeah, thanks, Bren. Great doing these streams with you, honestly. It's 8, 9 months, like you said, growing. We're going to start pumping out some better content later in the year as well. But here at Bridgely Labs, Rotes and I and Furloco, really here trying to educate everyone about macro, what we're doing in crypto, crypto equities, and then also meme coins and NFTs. Coming from the NFT game, we have a 1,000 PFP collection that you can get in on Magic Eden with a exclusive Discord server. Really here to trade and get good allocations in the market, and also build some long-term companies. So we We have a venture studio program that we're taking applications for, building at the intersection of crypto and AI, and RWA, and we're just looking to partner with the best entrepreneurs and provide some support there along with some capital. So please reach out if you want to learn more, and we're pretty open on Discord, on Twitter DMs, and then also over email at bridgeclabs.io.
Amazing, bro. Thank you. So let's get back into the good stuff. Obviously, we talked about the reserve. I don't know if there's anything more else on that we want to talk about from the crypto summit, Max. What would you more expect from this type of thing? A lot of just signaling and talks about what they're gonna do. More big announcements. From your experience, what usually comes from these type of things?
Oh, I think you'll, you know, look, Trump is going to want to accomplish a pretty good chunk of stuff. He's going to want to say things that he expects to get accomplished, and he's going to push people very hard to get it done.
Interesting.
It should be clear to everybody that Trump wants America to be first in everything. And I met Trump quite a ways back when I was spending a decade in New York City. I think you don't want to doubt his intent to accomplish exactly what he said he's going to do for 4 years.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's interesting. That's great to hear that you expect, for them to push hard and really get things done. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Now,
the last thing Trump is going to do is talk about stuff that completely falls on its face. That's just not going to happen.
very interesting. That's great. Yeah. So, damn. Yeah. No, it's just crazy to see him say all these different things in the Bitcoin, conference speech, and then go above and beyond, even above that. So, really refreshing. Whether whatever you think about Trump personally, you're on the right, left, whatever. It's just actually really refreshing to see a politician really do what they say they're going to do as far as that, and then really put America first, like you were saying. So, very interesting to see. Now Michael Saylor, a lot of talks on that. I know we did the stream the other day, and a lot of people learned. There's just a lot of misconception around the debt around that MicroStrategy has. You want to go a little bit into that, so kind of clear that up for people on how that works.
Yeah, well, first of all, note that today it was announced that Michael Saylor has been asked to the summit. So,
Yeah, I see that.
The debt that I think the way it came up in the last discussion is that Saylor had been interviewed on CNBC the day that was so ugly for Bitcoin. And he jokingly said that, and I think it was Peter Schiff who posted a whole stream of bullshit tweets, or whatever we call them these days, about how MicroStrategy was going to go bust, and Bitcoin was garbage and always will be, and that the debt was going to consume MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy doesn't owe any of that debt. There is no collateral, and there is no personal liability or corporate liability. Those are all unrelated debts. That means that MicroStrategy can't go broke because of its debt. But I think what's even more interesting is that 24 hours after Schiff did that, and Strategy posted this on their Twitter, or their X, I guess. Schiff suddenly changed gears as soon as Trump made it obvious that there was going to be a strategic reserve. In fact, he spoke kindly of Bitcoin, and Michael Saylor jokingly welcomed him into the fold. So you have to, again, make judgments on your own. But when you look at a guy like Schiff, who, tells you all sorts of garbage so he can sell you gold. And by the way, he sells you the gold personally. So he's got a gold brokerage business. That would be the equivalent of Michael Saylor talking up Bitcoin and selling you Bitcoin. So kind of think of what that means when a guy like Schiff is saying you got to own gold. Well, it just so happens that I have some gold that you can buy. It's garbage. It's just absolute garbage. So you've got to be able to cut through this stuff and not let it weigh on your mind, because that's where you make mistakes.
Absolutely. Love that. Um, Now, let me see here. Yeah, if you guys have any comments, questions on what we're talking about, definitely chime in. We're looking at the chat. Amola, I see you, bro. What's up? Boosted Pengu. Max, what's your thoughts on ADA and projections? Max, have you ever owned into ADA, Cardano?
Yeah, I have a bunch of it actually.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. You know what if you've been in the streams or on the channel, you know what I think of ADA. I have a bit, never really took a big position in it, but I think the reason why, apart from everything that's going on now, obviously it's going to get a boost if it is in some type of reserve. But up until this point, the reason why ADA went so crazy is because it's one of the biggest cults in crypto. The type of crowd that was buying it back in 2021. There's a big cult around it, around Charles Hoskinson and just in general. And I think that's why it did so well. I think in combination with that cult like thing, the same type of dynamics that XRP has, that in combination with the boost from everything you're hearing from, from Trump and everything, I think, ADA could do really well this year. We'll look at a chart here in a little bit when we get to that. But let's see here. What else is going on this week, Danksy, besides those few? A crypto exchange, Kraken, all these lawsuits being dropped on, like Roach went over earlier, OpenSea, Kraken, Coinbase last week. What are your thoughts on this, Max? Do you think it's going to lead to? Do you think it's just leading to just a bunch of regulatory clarity for all these things, NFTs, all these things going forward?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, anytime you see one administration be a complete fucking imbecile and sue everybody that's moving, that's obviously not pro business. So when you see the next administration drop all the lawsuits, they are clearly doing so because in the very same meeting, they are getting agreement that those parties should expect regulation and they are expected to live by it, or those lawsuits wouldn't be getting dropped. So, um, look, everything is going to get better. Um, it's the difference between politics and control and business and growth. Those are your two focal points of the previous, 12 out of 16 years and the next 4.
Love that. Love that. And then you see, just kind of off the back of that, Trump trademarks the application for Trump Metaverse, which would sell NFTs and experience to the 45th and 47th president, which is interesting. You see a lot of the doubters are saying, oh, yeah, he's, doing all this stuff with OpenSea to kind of clear way for his own thing, all that stuff, which does play into it. Obviously, he's going to make money off of it, as you've seen with the meme coin, which is, they haven't really made too much money off of yet. And all these, the Trump NFT and all that. But I still do think that even more points to the fact that he's going to do all this clarity and stuff like that. So,
yeah. And the way I would respond to that is the foolishness to make a statement like, oh my gosh, Trump's going to try to make money, and then completely ignore that when Barack Obama arrived in the White House, he was in debt by $1 million. And he left worth $100 million. So I don't remember a lot of people complaining about the fact that Obama made money somehow. So, again, you got to remember, most of what you read is politically driven. It is written by a party who does not like whoever they're writing about. So that's just reality. And therefore, you have to be able to say, well, if you were president, wouldn't you try to make things happen for you after you're not president? I mean, or would you go, oh, God, no, I don't want to make any money doing this? If you say the latter, you're probably not being very truthful.
Now, there's a big thing around, oh, you can't like make money while you're president and all that. How does that work like with something like this? Do they just have it in like different names and stuff that doesn't,
Well,
you know?
you can't personally be having a conflict of interest. That's why every president, when they are elected president, has to move all their assets into a trust until they're not president anymore.
Gotcha. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm just looking in the chat. Aleb, we'll definitely get to your question right now. I know you asked it earlier. We'll look at SUI. We haven't really looked at any charts yet. We're just going into everything that's gone on the last few weeks and getting some great insight from Max on tariffs and all this great stuff. So, I mean, dude, I personally have learned so much the last here. So, somebody asked, let's see, Trump may roll back tariffs. Aleb's original question was the S&P on the weekly not closed yet, and QQQ on weekly are breaking structure and looking bearish. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, let me pull up the S&P 500. I wanna hear from Max here. Like, what's your thoughts on equities here breaking down hard? Do you
Well,
think
it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing that they did in the last Terra 4. And by the way, when your mind is telling you, oh gosh, that looks bearish and it broke down, I want your mind to also say this: every single low in the stock market looks bearish and broken down. Every single low, every one. So please don't. First of all, no one, you included, whoever's feeling bearish, no one knows the future. There is no party that you're going to be able to talk to, including yourself, that knows what's going to happen 5 minutes from now, much less 5 hours or 5 weeks or 5 years from now. What you have to rely on is the history of the world. And the history of the world is that the United States of America wins 98% of the time. So if someone tells you to walk into Vegas and says, hey, whatever you think, 98% of the time, this is what happens, what are you going to bet on?
Yeah.
Are you going to go, well, I don't know. Right now it looks pretty bad. Well, shit, of course, 2% of the time it's going to look like shit, and 98% of the time you're going to win. But you got to be strong enough to know that you're going to have to act right when it looks horrible.
Yep. Exactly.
It's just, I wish there was some simple way around that, but there isn't.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, everybody wants to, when we're going up, everybody wants a dip to buy lower, but then when it actually happens, just the people don't realize the stuff you're saying, and then they don't want to buy. It's just the way of the market. But wow. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Somebody said with meme coins not considered securities, could venture-backed startups use them for capital formation, essentially a liquidity side pot. Do you have any insight on that, Max?
Oh, I think eventually companies will learn to figure out how to create coins that help them raise money. But, right now, keep in mind, money is not the problem for most good ideas. The world has, the world has plenty of money. So, will coins be used eventually? Sure.
Brad,
there?
you want to pull up the Bitcoin chart? Hello?
Bren, you there?
Oh no, he's offline.
Oops.
Can you pull it up, Max? I don't know if you're set up to stream.
Yeah, I don't think I'm connected to do that. Plus, I don't have a software open right now to do that.
Oh, no worries. Rose, can you share? I'm trying to stream on TikTok as well. Oh, Rose is here.
I can't share.
Oh no. Alright, let me see what I
I
can do.
expect he'll come right back on, unless his battery ran out or something.
Maybe.
No way. Should we see one of these? Where is the Isn't Trump supposed to be speaking like right now?
I don't know if he's speaking right now, but I know he's speaking tonight to the nation. So he's going to certainly use that time. Oh, he just said he's coming on now. Bren,
Oh, not Trump.
my hunch is the reason you saw crypto bottom out this morning is it's probably leaked that he's going to say some pretty positive things about crypto tonight as well.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, everything's kind of rebounding, even the stock market. So
yeah, that's my point. I mean, I think my hunch is the speech got leaked, and somebody knows it. That would be my guess.
okay. Yeah, I mean, we do need some relief right now. The market has been shitting the bed for like 2 weeks.
Here's what you want to look for, guys. Everybody listening.
Okay, I think you guys hear me now.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, perfect. Back. Thank you. All right. So, uh, I don't know what you guys were going over when I went on, but let's see.
they had asked you to pull up the Bitcoin chart.
Yeah,
Is my screen still going?
yeah, your screen's good.
Cool, cool. Yeah. So I put out a tweet here earlier, kind of summarizes my thoughts on Bitcoin right now. I would say look at the summer correction of 2024. Right now, a lot of people um, I feel like a lot of people aren't looking at the past corrections, even from the ones that we've seen just in the last year alone. I think everything's kind of being amplified right now on how bad things are because of the euphoria that Trump created, the coin, Trump coin, as well as just meme coins being down so bad. Some of them already 90%. But if you just got to look to the majors first and foremost, always, because that's what drives the meme coins, altcoins, everything else. It's always been that way. When the majors are going up over that time, money flows down into the risk curve and meme coins, altcoins, and all that. And then in the inverse, when the majors correct, like it's happened in summer of 24, like it happened in summer of 23, the meme coins specifically go on brutal corrections, right? We saw it in the summer of 2024. Same thing happened. Bitcoin came down from March all the way down to August. During this time, the meme coins came down 50 to 90%. Okay, this time around, in this correction, the meme coins kind of came down before Bitcoin started coming down hard. But same kind of thing, guys. We're looking at a very similar structure to the summer of 2024. And the same thing's happening here. Meme coins, as the majors, Bitcoin corrects 20%. We're seeing the memes come down 50 to 90. Obviously things don't play out the exact same month to month or day to day, but these corrections look very similar in nature. Like we chop, we come down, the alts and memes come down as well. So I think what we're seeing here is just another variation of the summer of 2024, which is what I like to call corrective channels, where you get a move down, multiple lows, usually 2 to 4 lows before bottoming out and heading to the upside. To me, this is a corrective behavior, which is super choppy, kind of like a coil up or like a spring before the next impulse to the upside. I think that's exactly what we're seeing here for Bitcoin. Whether we come down, if we go down to the lower time frames, um, whether we come down again into the 70s, 71, 75, and form 2 or 3 lows like we saw in the summer of 2024, or whether this low that we already have here now is enough. I think in the next few months, Q2, we will get a bottom and very likely all-time highs in all three majors. I think what I've really learned over the last few years, but specifically stressed when talking to Max and having the ability to communicate with him, is it's just not to stress the short term, and definitely, like I said, I'm really a chart guy. I feel like I have a bit of an edge in that. I do leverage trading and all that, but even there, so I try not to stress so much whether it's going to happen next week or a couple weeks from now. I know that the charts tell me all these positive catalysts that we've seen from regulation, all the stuff that Max is talking about. I do think is very, very highly likelihood. Again, whether we're done here, we head down one more time or two more times even, are very likely to lead to all-time highs on the majors, especially Bitcoin, which again leads everything or drives everything. Probably in Q2, Q3, if I had to guess. Very likely in Q2, if I had to guess. But it's not if but when, honestly. So for Ethereum, same kind of thing. Definitely a deeper correction, but if you look at overall, if you Ethereum is barely up, not even up 2x from the bear market lows, which to a lot of people is just like they think of ETH as just a complete failure. But I think it's the same kind of thing for in general, that people are judging things on too small of a time frame. Like Max always stresses about patience. If you don't have patience, you're just really never going to make money over time. For me, I think my thesis is that ETH and Ethereum, the blockchain, and ETH, the coin, are going to be the biggest beneficiaries from all this regulatory clarity. Because you hear Larry Fink, all these guys talk about tokenized bonds, stocks, all that. I think a lot of that's going to land on ETH, and for that reason, over the next year or two, ETH is going to do very well. And even if you go on the lower time frames, just from January or December till now, I think Ethereum actually has the best corrective setup. And when Bitcoin does bottom out again, whether it's now or it goes down again, I think ETH's going to head back up, and this time we'll see ETH do very well, break all time highs this year, very likely in the first half. I think, despite how things seem now. Now, if we go to Sol, definitely look.
Brent.
Max, someone asked you about what we were looking for before Brent.
Yeah, I was just going to give you maybe 30 seconds because unfortunately I got to take a call in about 3 minutes that'll take about 15 minutes. But what you want to watch is you want a rebound that no one believes in. You don't want to keep watching guys go from, gee, I want to jump out the window because they're depressed, to, holy shit, Bitcoin grows to the sky just because of a one-day rally. When you see sentiment become bullish immediately, then you have not beaten the market up enough. What you want to see is a bounce that no one cares about. No one cares about, no one buys. They just go, fuck it. It's dead anyway. I don't even care if it rallies to 90 grand. Because then you'll get a bounce, you'll get a very, very shallow pullback, and it'll take off like a rocket. So you want to watch sentiment and price action together. You don't want to see people get all excited after a one-day up close. Oh God, the worst statement is we're so back. When you see that, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not done until whoever writes "we're so back" after every green bar. When they're not writing that because they don't believe it anymore, then you have very likely seen the low.
Okay.
So I'll be back as quick as I can.
Okay. Thanks, Max. No worries. Love that. Honestly, dude, this has been probably the greatest stream yet. I appreciate you guys for all being on here. We're close to our record. I think we had 1.6, maybe 1.5, 1.6 at one point, Danksy, like a month ago.
I think it was like
We
1.8
nearly hit 2K.
before we ended the stream, but yeah.
Really, we got up to okay, awesome. So we're getting up there. But yeah, I think this is a much needed stream. I know I have learned a lot. I know people, a lot going on, different takes. A lot of people think it's completely over. A lot of people, a lot of people are optimistic. But I think a lot of people needed this insight, especially on the tariffs and all this confusing stuff. So I love this stream. I appreciate you guys for being on. We'll go over some meme coin stuff. I really just wanted to go into the tariff stuff and a lot of this other stuff. Barely anything going on in memes, but I will go over kind of my take on, if memes, what are going to happen with memes, what I've been buying, all of that. We'll talk about a little bit of AI stuff. And then I want to go into NFTs for sure with Rotes because, VeeFriends and a few other stuff have, there's some big stories around NFTs this week with the OpenSea lawsuit being dropped and all that. So, yeah, a lot of fun stuff more to talk about. I want to look at DXY and a few other things. If you guys look here, DXY, which is the dollar index, which pretty much tracks the dollar, pretty much the dollar versus a bunch of other currencies, the yen and euro and all that. But essentially, this is a measure of the dollar. The dollar is coming down hard here, which very likely is a kind of a lower high here on the higher time frames, which could come down pretty fast, which could come down a lot more to 103, 104, could even dip down below that, which for historically when the dollar is going up, and again, it's not perfectly correlated, but when the dollar is going up on the higher time frames, stocks, crypto, risk assets tend to do the opposite. So the dollar going down does support, a bottom in crypto and stocks like Max was talking about a second ago in the next few months. This is something we do want to see after we did see the dollar move up pretty heavily here from September while crypto was going up as well. So we were kind of trying to see which one was bluffing or which one would come down. And obviously crypto came down first, but I do think dollar coming down hard does definitely supports the case that crypto will bottom out here in the next, several weeks. So Bitcoin dominance, I want to look at a few of these basic things. I do think Bitcoin dominance could continue up in the short term, but I think at some point this year we will see Bitcoin dominance either take a short term, maybe how long, who knows how big the pullback is, and at that point usually there is a point where everything runs at once. But anybody who remembers, memes went crazy at the beginning of this year, I think, right? Yeah. So summer, actually coming out of the summer, memes went crazy while Bitcoin dominance were still going up. So while it would be nice to see Bitcoin dominance top out and kind of see, alts take over, usually that means ETH goes up as well, pretty hard. While that would be nice, it's not necessary to see stuff like memes and alts and all this other stuff go up. So now somebody asked about Sui earlier. I want to look at that.
Yeah, so he's kind of getting destroyed right now.
Yeah. So Sui, first kind of major correction that Sui's seen since March of 24. I think what we've seen in past cycles is that the stuff that does well in the first few years, or the stuff that does well while things are good, tend to continue to do well. When times are good. So I do think this is a nice kind of corrective structure on Sui, even though it is kind of a big one. It's 50% on a major. But you do got to put into context that it has been kind of up only 10x on a coin like Sui in 4 months, right? Am I seeing that right? Yeah. 4 months on Sui, it went 10x. Doesn't that crazy? Didn't that seem like that 4 months seemed like a year, or like a year and a half? It's crazy how fast that can go. But yeah, it went 10x in 4 months. So during these corrective periods, the ones that do go really crazy, you're usually going to see them have pretty big corrections. So what I'm getting at here is I do think Sui's in a nice correction and will continue to do well when conditions improve. And if you're a Sui guy, like this is probably your opportunity to add if you do have dry powder. So Danksy, I think that's you, man. I think you're a Sui guy, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm adding. I'm slowly adding more and more. Yeah, I'm not too scared right now. I'm just adding into my more established bags. So like ETH, Sol, Sui, Bitcoin, and then Doge. I think are the five.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's a great point. And I think even if you're talking about memes, anything, don't need to overcomplicate it right now. Everything, even the greatest memes out there, Mog, SPX, Giga, all those strong communities that have been through this before, all those are around 50, 60, 70, 75, 80%. If you're looking to add to anything, same goes along with Sui, like any of these things, you don't need to overcomplicate it and go too far down the risk curve. Just add to the things that have already proven themselves and have been through these corrections before. That's the biggest thing. So, yeah, great points for me. Kind of to touch on what I've been kind of doing majors wise is do have 50-60% of my portfolio in majors and stables at all times, which I've been blessed. I've been doing that, so I've had a lot of dry powder to add on these corrections. Majors wise, I have been adding stables to ETH slowly, as well as a bit of Sol, and then more Bitcoin this time around as well. I do think on this move up, I do want to get more of my portfolio into Bitcoin than it is now. I'm heavily more into ETH and Sol, but I do think Bitcoin still has a ton of upside. All this stuff that Max talks about and Michael Saylor and all this that if there is an arms race for Bitcoin, I do think it has a ton of upside as well as it's already all the risk to reward is just great even from here. So as far as memes, which we'll go over in a second, I've really just been adding to the coins again that have been through this stuff before. I'm talking about the Gigas, SPX, Mogs that have had 50 to 80% corrections before. That's proven that the supply is in good hands. That proves that people actually give a shit about it. Rather than price goes up, there's a movement, all that stuff behind it. So yeah, I've been adding to SPX, Giga, Mog, probably the heaviest, Lock In, Ticker Bitcoin, all that. I think not only are those the ones that have a lot of upside and are more quote unquote proven, but I think those are the ones that are going to sustain the high market caps. I'm talking 5-10 billion plus later this year. I don't think it's over for meme coins at all. I think that's kind of I think that's a lot of people's takes right now. I think that's kind of the cool it's a cool thing is to be like, oh yeah, like it's over. But I think just like in past cycles, the stuff that does well, is going to do well later on in the cycle. Not just that, but it's different than 2020 or 2018 or whatever for meme coins. We have these communities that have been around for a year plus who again have been through this before. It's a way more solidified ecosystem. It's not just pump and dumps. And for that reason, I think every time these good coins, I'm talking about the SPX. I like how I pulled Zero Bro up. The SPX, Giga, Mogs, all that, every time they go through these 70-80% corrections, they come out stronger and have the ability to sustain higher market caps. So SPX, for example, you look at the higher time frames, just a beautiful corrective channel, which down 60-70%. But with that being said, like still looks very good chart-wise. As you can see, SPX has been around since December of 23 is when it came up on Dex Screener. It's been through 90% correction here. It's been through 90% correction here. It's been through 90% correction here. It went through even another one, 75% correction in November of 24. It's been through these before, and I think these ones have the highest chance and very high chance of going back up again when Bitcoin, ETH, Sol go back up. So SPX, Giga, all of these 70-80% discounts, easy money for me. From here again, I marked out all these corrections on Giga since just February, which is pretty much a year ago, right? 6 of these corrections. This is the 70% correction that Giga has. When conditions improve, I think it's easily going to go back to all-time highs, and again, go to 5 and 10 billion because of the supply distribution that that it has at this point. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing meme-wise. Just adding to the bigger ones that are in the couple hundred millions that I know are going to very, very likely go back into the billions later this year. So no need to overcomplicate it. Looking at the chat, okay, nothing really new. Max, what are we looking for? Okay, you did that. So
Any good AI plays right now?
I don't know about anything new.
Dude, I was hearing some crazy shit about Binance Smart Chain coins being like the meta right now.
Like new ones, like doing well, or
Yeah.
interesting. Do you know any ones that have?
Broccoli was like a week ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um, I was hearing some like soccer player was announcing some coin on Binance Smart Chain,
Interesting.
but haven't heard anything really. But there's a lot of activity there now for some reason.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure with CZ, talking about the memes more, I'm sure they have some type of plan to get more involved in that space more, but
Yeah.
or have more emphasis on it. But AI 16Z, for example, down 80-90%, but stuff like that that's more quote unquote proven. It's been consolidating for about a month now. Even if it comes down a little bit, stuff like this AI wise, I think has the best chance. Stuff like AI XBT. If you just buy the 3 to 5 that are actually that are at the top as far as attention and market caps, I think that's your best shot. And then as far as like new AI stuff, I'm sure there will be a resurgence. somewhat when conditions do improve. But I would, for me personally, I'm staying away from any of that until conditions improve. If you're going to go anything AI, I think again, no need to overcomplicate it. There's stuff like AI XBT, which just completely dominated Twitter. Still has posts to this day that I see do pretty well. Down 60-70%. So I think no need to overcomplicate it if you're looking for AI stuff. For me, why I never really went too crazy into these AI stuff. I had a big position in AI XBT, which I took profits on the way up on. Still have maybe 30-40% of my position originally from about where we're at now, where I got in. I didn't go too hard in them is because they hadn't gone through these corrections before, right? The coins that I like to put my bigger amount of money in longer term that I can hold, all that again, the coins that have been through these massive corrections before. Now that AI XPT is going through these corrections and it comes out of it, that'll make it more strong long term distribution wise and all that. So yeah, AI XPT probably has a resurgence. Maybe something like GOAT that even though it's gotten kind of killed. I do think that story's there. Under 75 million is crazy. If any of these coins have a chance to go back up, just based on the origin story alone, it might be GOAT. Somebody
What
asked
about Fartcoin?
Fartcoin. Yeah, that's another one. Somebody asked about White, which is just crazy. Yoni brought it to my attention, like we were talking about it all the way down here at 74, and it fucking 10x'd. Didn't get in. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one, White Rock. It's essentially they're kind of trying to be like what Ondo does with tokenized stocks like Tesla and Apple and all that. And I don't know, but the coin just went absolutely nuts over the last week. I don't know. I think somebody in the chat asked about that. If you got into that, brother, good job. I haven't had some crazy claims with BlackRock. I don't know too much about the claims. I looked briefly into it when my boy Yoni, who's usually on the stream here, go ahead and follow his account in the caption. But he was talking about it down here. We didn't get in 10x. One of the only coins that's done well over the last few weeks. So I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, where is Yoni? I haven't seen him.
He's been on a few times. He's been traveling and doing a few things, but he's still around. E-Man asked about Zero Bro. Yeah, definitely impulsive to the downside, but we've seen stuff down 90%, head back up. Zero Bro did have a lot of mind share. I wouldn't count it out, but again, it's not the first one I'm super hyped on versus a lot of these ones that look more corrective. But I mean, you look at it, Zero Bro's down 95%, but a lot of these AI coins are. So, yeah, so I think if it consolidates here for a bit longer, that would definitely be good. Okay, yeah, Rojam brings up a good point. Big Lou says, thanks, Bren. No worries, Lou. Appreciate you for being on. Rojam says, AVAX may also follow on the Binance trail. Blub has been getting some recent attention. Yeah, Blub has been getting a lot of attention on the timeline as well. I know a lot of people. It's like one of those application ones, and I don't know. Have you been? Let's see. The AVAX meme stuff's been doing well. AVAX the token has kind of been doing the same as everything else, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the AVAX meme coin hype continues when conditions improve. Rojam, have you been messing with the Blub stuff or anything on AVAX? If so, which coins have you been buying? Always love to see Rojam on. Rojam's probably been like the most consistent, as well as Panda, as well as a lot of you guys on here. Mike, always on. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate you guys' support.
Crypt Envy too. I mean, we got a lot of consistent listeners.
Yeah,
now.
dude. We love all you guys. We love all the regulars. We love everybody who's new here too.
We got Mike. Mike's always
Yep.
still in here.
100%. Thanks, guys.
Love Mike. Love all you guys. But I just wanted to say, yeah, Rojam, always appreciate you for being on here, bro. I think along with you and Panda and everybody else, been on here every time, so we really appreciate that.
What's Trump looking at right now? We're gonna see a pump soon, right?
Yeah, I think Trump. Let's see.
I'll tell you, it was a whole lot more awkward prior to the news that the tariffs may again be dropped, being the Canadian on the show. given the scenarios that are playing out here. So,
Damn, dude. Yeah. How unthoughtful of me to not get the fucking Canadian opinion on it, but my bad. How we doing over there, brother?
all you got to do is watch a hockey game that's taking place in Canada, and you can get the general impression of Canadians overall. And there's a lot of booing of the American national anthem. Not to the sense that we're trying to disrespect the national anthem. We're just trying to show our displeasure of, I guess, the trade agreements that have existed in the past. Now, as someone that tries to be um, aware of as much information as possible, I understand the negotiation that is going on with Trump. I understand that there are elements to the way Canada is behaving. Kind of we're very chill guys up here. We don't necessarily take the same kind of degree of seriousness when it comes to certain things. So, for instance, I think most of the issue right now is all about the border and protecting the border. And quite frankly, I think we lead the border as this kind of like, hey, we trust Americans, so we're just gonna, we're not taking it as a real security measure. And quite frankly, I think there's a lot getting through the border that shouldn't be. And until Canada steps up their element of protecting the border and protecting what goes in between across the border, that's not going to change. And I don't necessarily believe that our current prime minister, our current politicians are doing the best effort, whether or not they are influenced by whatever political measures, etc. So there's a lot that goes on at play, and I hope that it stays as a strong negotiation tactic with Trump, because I mean, obviously, we have a lot of things that we can tariff on the way back. Like, for instance, the energy we place it. Ontario, one of our provinces, placed a energy tariff on the energy that goes to a few states, and we control a lot of the energy that goes there. So we can hit back as well, but I don't think that's solving anything by, oh, we got tariffs. Well, we got tariffs. No, let's find out why there's tariffs, and let's see if we can kind of come to an agreement to work better as countries. So it's definitely hard because as Canadians we have a lot less power, and so we're at the mercy. So it's tough, but I certainly I like to take the perspective of all things that go through, and it certainly creates a lot of trepidation. We feel it. It's been felt across the world, and that's the bigger thing that's going on.
Amazing. I love that we're able to get that perspective, and I should have asked before, but
All good.
but appreciate it,
Max
brother.
was cooking, and I didn't want to slam in there with my perspective because I was taking a lot of his information in. So
For sure, man, and always chime in, brother. You're a huge part of this show. What have you been doing? Have you just kind of been sitting on your hand? You've been adding to anything?
yeah, I mean, it's I still sit in some meme positions that I haven't exited, and I still sit within like the majors. I mean, I've always been fairly conservative overall, so watching what's going on and trying to get a grasp of where we're at. It's been tough. It's been choppy, but it's choppy in the sense that because we've had this rally, there's more uncertainty and more fear that we've topped. And even though I don't think that is the case, that's the timeline, and that's the stuff that's hard to noise. So, or hard to block out that noise. So that's the challenge I think we all kind of face right now is
Absolutely.
staying bullish when we probably should still be bullish.
Yeah, it's just like we always talk about. It's harder to put stuff into perspective, like zooming out, especially
Mhm.
when things get so crazy and amplified on crypto Twitter and all that. So definitely great points. I want to get into NFTs here in a second, but let me see here. Look at the chat. Missed anything? Let's see here. Amazing. I appreciate you guys for sharing the stream and for still being on here with us. Definitely, if you're still on here, definitely like and maybe retweet the stream. So we can get this out to more people. It's always appreciated. Let me go back to the chat. Not on it yet. Anything? Okay. Rojam says not yet on anything else on AVAX. I'll be looking for some sort of bandwagon dog slash cat coin play. Yeah, that makes sense. Hype. Going to have the appropriate wallet with AVAX ready. Nice, bro. Be prepared. I love that. Yeah, Yoni's so back. Yeah, bro. Yoni will be back soon, man. Yoni's Yoni's super, a lot of insight into the lower cap stuff. And Pump Fun, everything's been super dead. It's interesting, Pump Fun. I think yesterday for the first time there was a few coins that got to 1 million, but for a while there's either zero or one or two coins that are getting above $1 million on Pump Fun a day, which is insane. But yeah, just to kind of summarize, if you guys are on here, I do think the majors probably bottom out here. Similar, what we're looking at is a structure similar to summer of 2024. That in the next few months could be here, could be after one or two more lows. That we will bottom out and head back to the upside. All the positive catalysts and stuff we're seeing in the background sometimes takes months to have an effect on prices. Similar to the Bitcoin ETF when it started trading. We got downside for a few months, and then obviously price started matching the positive catalyst. And I think we're going to see the same thing here, guys. Whether it's again this week, next month, takes 6 weeks from now, happens today. I do think we get back to all-time highs in the next, either in March or Q2. If I had to put a number on it or a date. So yeah. Yeah, let's see. Let's just go to NFTs. Why not? Rhodes, are you able to share your screen? Or you want me to put it on mine?
You got to share.
Perfect.
Only Fridays I can share.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, I got that slow local internet company internet. But no, NFTs should hold mostly stable, though they're not, because we're losing value in ETH, and so the sell off is a kind of it's doubled, almost like memes, right? NFTs hold more stable than memes at this point because they've been through a longer duration of the cycle, but they tend to sell off as ETH goes down as well. But it does produce some pretty good value across the board for NFTs. The only problem is you got to reach back into your conviction and say, okay, do you believe that the cycle isn't over? Which I think we all agree that the cycle isn't over, and NFTs have yet to have their moment. And with that, we should see some good rally. Punks have stayed pretty stable, and overall, a lot of the primary collections have been in a pretty good spot, and they're at the point now where they've kind of retraced into some of their kind of consolidation levels, and that's what I think is the most interesting part, is that they have stabilized across the board pretty well, where the opportunities to get in and see less downside risk with NFTs is kind of at that place, and that's what I like most about NFTs right now.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, I mean, someone asked about Giga and stuff. We'll go over that in just a second, Hugo. I appreciate the question. But yeah, no, I'm in the same place with NFTs. I think that honestly, people laugh at the statement like the bull market hasn't started yet. But like in NFTs, I literally think it just hasn't started yet. I think we literally got that first leg. Let's go on Bored Ape Yacht Club. That's kind of the best representation visually on the NFT market, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so we got that original rally. And let me zoom out even a little bit more. Is there a weekly on here? No? Damn. So we got that originally rally in November, and we're coming down to retest it. We really haven't even seen a major run. We got like a barely a 2x. What is that on Bored Apes? I think we're kind of waiting just on like most of these markets, crypto included, for some type of catalyst, right? One or two things: either some type of catalyst, which is usually the case, or whether that be some type of adoption from GTA 6 or something crazy like that, or it could be from or something from the government, or some type of announcement, some type of ticketing app, something like that. Could come from the regulatory clarity and everything, or it could just come from some of these projects having announcements, and then we start seeing 3 or 4 projects go to all-time highs, and then the momentum just spills over. I think what's more likely to happen is some type of catalyst. But I personally think we're going to get that type of catalyst. I do think that NFTs, the technology, is going to be really big, and tickets are going to be NFTs and all that kind of stuff. You're starting to see with RWAs, with the Pokemon cards, and all that different stuff. I think you're going to start to see, like Max was talking about, real estate contracts and all these different things being NFTs, which is going to bring a lot of importance to these original NFT projects, especially the ones that are building like these bigger IPs. But yeah, for me, I think that we're going to see that in 2025. And I always talk about like a digital asset super cycle. I think it's going to be not just crypto, but eventually NFTs that have another run. For me, I think it's going to be concentrated more so in a few areas. The two biggest being, 5 to 10 of the 2021 projects that stuck around that are actually still building. The Bored Apes, the V Friends, the CryptoPunks are another thing, but Pudgies, Azuki, Doodles maybe, and then meme coin NFTs. I think are gonna catch, with the convergence of that, and then obviously punks, ordinals, stuff like that. But I think we're yet to see that, and I think we're starting to see a lot of these builders. From Azuki, from Pudgy's, Gary V, start to really making moves, which I think is going to contribute to, from all this regulatory clarity, we will get that NFT bull run. Could start now, could start while crypto's down now, or it could be in months from now. But I think that's coming. And my bet, for those of you who've been on the stream, you've seen my bet's on V Friends again. It's an operator thing. I think with these IP plays with NFTs, it's all about who's behind the project, and I think that's why Pudgy Penguins are where they're at the top, is because Luca Nets is just a fucking beast, right? I think Gary V recognized the last several years that there's no demand for the NFT, so therefore they build the collectibles. Now that you see demand start to come back for the NFTs and stuff like that, that's where you see him to start talking more, and start to hint at more crypto stuff coming, which a lot of stuff coming, hinting from them for crypto stuff coming on the back half of the year around this, these cards that they're releasing from Topps Chrome. So just V Friends and all these NFTs in general, I do think the second half of the year we're going to see a lot more stuff coming because of the regulatory clarity. They're talking to releasing all these lawsuits on the NFT companies and all that. So my biggest bets on V Friends, I think, it's already starting to come up, like Routes was saying, almost at 2 ETH now, and I think just a few announcements. I think are going to send this higher. I'm in the Discord all the time, and a lot of optimism in there. If you look at really quickly, like Gary V's Twitter, super talking about the V Friends now super heavy with about this cards, but in all of this he's and everything he's saying, he's making it clear that the NFTs are the biggest thing. And he said in the Discord that the whole thing around the cards and everything is eventually to funnel people into the NFTs. So I think big things coming from that. I think there's going to be a coin and stuff like that coming from them. Who knows when that happens? But yeah, for me, biggest bet on this has been on this. I've sold a bunch of other NFTs and just keep buying more. I'm actually, let's see here.
You know, pull up Suzuki as well afterwards. I haven't seen their price action in a while.
Yeah, I'll do Zuki right after this too.
Zuki, Doodles.
Yes, sir. Where the fuck? It looks different on my laptop. Where the hell is that? Okay, yeah. So yeah, got 29 of these bitches. Series 1s, top 10 holder. A few of these people are the same people. Same thing with the Series 2. I just really believe in not only just Gary V as an operator, like I said, but the IP. As I learned more about this, really it's the only NFT project that has separate 100 I forgot how many, 100, like almost 200 characters separate, and not, everything else is kind of just um, one character and then just different traits around that, right? This is one of the only ones that has different characters, over a couple hundred different ones. So yeah, other than that, would you say Azuki?
It's a
But yeah, Azuki price
I
action.
think you're muted still, Brett. I don't know.
No, I'm not
Oh,
still
no.
muted. Can you hear me?
There's probably something wrong with the thing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thanks,
Oh,
you
man.
can't. Apparently.
No, I think it's just on me.
That's on you, Danksy.
Yeah. Whose phone is that? So
That's Danksy's phone.
all right,
No,
bet,
it's
bet.
the TikTok live stream, Twitch now.
Oh,
But yeah, Zuki. Wow. New all-time lows? That's nuts. Under 3 ETH.
yeah, yeah. They're
My
right
God.
at that previous low from 2024, right?
That's amazing. V friends are about to flip this shit. 2x, oh, less than a 2x away. Incredible. But wow, Doodles too.
The only thing that's
I'm
holding
thinking about
Doodles up at
buying
this point
now.
is a token. What are you thinking about buying, Banksy?
Azuki.
Azuki's a fairly safe grab. I mean, you're right at all time lows. You know, you can define that that's bottomed out. Just give it maybe a bit of time to consolidate there. Make sure that it's settled in. Another week or so. I think it's an interesting get at that point. Doodles, unless there's a token announcement, it will continue to pull back.
I think there's gonna be probably. Like, I think all these inevitably will. Again, just started to talk my bags again. That's why I'm so bullish on V friends. There's so many cards that they haven't played that a lot of these other ones already have. Um, so yeah, I do think I like how it's corrective into this low. So I do think, yeah, again, we're just waiting for a catalyst, and I do expect the leaders that are still building, still doing stuff to just like we see in crypto and all these other markets to have a recovery, and probably see a lot of them at all time highs. That's what I think is going to happen. Again, we're not going to see all the projects from 2021 run, but the core 5 to 10, I think several of them are going back to all time highs and are going to actually have relevant IPs and stuff like that. So I think for me right now, if you're looking for anything low, like for not much, I think the Series 2 V friends are like fucking with ETH down this low is like $100. I think this is probably the best undervalued buys. I think these are going back to ETH 1 ETH plus eventually, which is just again the all time highs from what they were at in 2023 even or 2021. But maybe look at other meme coin stuff. But yeah, they're I think right now, if you're looking at NFTs, it's just about maybe accumulating the stuff that's already proven itself. Like Azuki under 3 ETH is insane to me.
Yeah. Someone wants eman69,000 wants to go over Aeons.
Perfect. Yeah. So, like I said, Eman, I do think the two biggest narratives of NFTs in general going into 2025 when this bull run does happen are going to be, like I said, those core 2021 projects and then meme coin NFTs. I think are going to be maybe just as strong, maybe even stronger because, again, of how strong meme coin communities are, especially these cult like ones, and how NFTs, if they're going up as well. I think it's going to be a big convergence. So, yeah, I do think the two top projects, because of how they've been able to distribute and just kind of the consensus, the two biggest meme coin NFT projects are Aeons, which crazy that they come all the way down to 0.42. And then Sprotos, obviously. To me,
What's
I
Rose
have
at right now?
0.91.
So one's kind of good entry.
Yeah, exactly, man. I think this is free as fuck, especially with two months of consolidation here. I think the convergence again when these meme coins start to go up and then this NFT bull run that we're talking about happens, the convergence of those two things with Sproto's 3,000 supply, over a year plus of distribution, you see a lot of notable people have Sprotos as their PFP, super strong community, all that. So I think eventually we will see the Sprotos and Aeons, E-Man, um, do well. How high can they go? I think there's still a chance that they're up there with a lot of the top NFT projects in general, due to how strong these meme coin communities are, especially SPX and what's it called, um, the Bitcoin community. So yeah, man, I do think eventually this will bottom out. I probably will pick up a few more of these with how cheap they are. So
True. How's Ticker Bitcoin going? Did we look at that? I forgot.
we haven't today. Let's see. What's one of the ones you have to scroll down a shit ton to get to the ETH one? Amazing, all the way down there. So yeah, correcting like all the other ones down. Not even 90. It's 80. It's about down the same as SPX and Giga, like 70. I expected again. Been through this before. Here, all this time. Year and a half, whatever. Year and a half of time in the game. I think this bounces back pretty hard. Um, again, when it's going to go to all time highs. I think again when everything recovers, just like it did here, and all these other times. So
Right.
71 mil is insane. Under 100 is crazy.
I don't know. You're basically losing money not buying it.
Yeah. Eventually, uh, but yeah, and again, just waiting for the majors to bottom out. Just a matter of time. Hopefully, like I was saying, it looks like the correction of summer 24. Hopefully, this one lasted 6 months. Same with the last one in the summer of 23. But hopefully this time around, it's four, maybe 4 or 5 months, 3.5 months. We're already from the top of this one in December 9th. We're already in pretty much what is that, 3 months into it. So
Yeah, we should be accelerating just from more people being in the cycle, ETF situation, and then institutions coming in to buy. So it should be good.
absolutely, dude. I think this is such an amazing show, guys. For those of you guys still on here with us, 1.7K. Up
1.8 now. Let's go.
1.8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Showing 1.7 on mine, but that's awesome, guys. Wow, that's a new record for us. Especially, I think we hit it right at the end, and I think the last one we did it like a giveaway too, which always usually pumps it. So, seriously, guys, it's amazing. I love you guys for still being on here. I'm not looking at the chat. Let's see. It hasn't updated on my phone.
Uh, what else should we look at before we head out?
Yeah, we'll be on. Maybe let's do like 10 or 15 more minutes. Let's see. Yeah, looks like that stuff's from Twitch, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, those are just gonna come in. They just get spammed.
Stream Boo. Um, but yeah, what else? What else in NFT land? It looks like the Kaido Genesis shit's still holding. That's crazy. These Kaido Genesis NFTs are like top 5 project right now in all of NFTs.
Dude, wait, check out Miladies because there's so many. There's like a couple Miladies events at ETH Denver, and like I don't know, they're being sticklers about owning one to get in.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are a cult. You gotta get in. Oh, it's crazy. Were those ones? Wait, are
Oh,
you
there you go. Barachain had really good events. Like they were balling.
nice, man? You went to some?
Yeah, the Barachain ones were really good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, hopefully Barachain has a nice run. They kind of launched into shitty conditions, but what could you
Yeah,
do?
but investors got like 250x on their investment or something.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, right? If there's VCs, I wonder if those are crazy, like lockup though.
I don't know. That's why
Even
they're
if
balling so hard.
even if it were to go down 80%, they could probably OTC. Even if it were to go down another 50%, like that's what only 120x.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Milady, you know, NFTs. I think again, it's already kind of a convergence of the NFT slash meme coin culture, crypto Twitter culture. So yeah, I expect Milady's to go to 10 ETH eventually, and in an NFT bull run. So
Hmm. Would you rather buy a Miladies or an Azuki or a Doodles?
um, out of those,
Yeah, those three. They're roughly same price, roughly give or take.
yeah, no, I think for me, I'd buy more V friends though. But between those, I would buy probably Nizuki, man. Under 3 ETH is nuts. Um, maybe a Doodle if you're like want to because it hasn't had a coin yet. Um, but yeah, without a coin and everything,
What's the Milady coin? It's like Milady, right?
yeah, no, they did the Colt coin.
Oh, they
They
did cool.
remember they did a pre-sale and then it took like a long time and then eventually they dropped it 6 months ago or it's like 3 or 4 months ago or whatever. I
Yeah.
haven't hit that in a minute. It's probably down fucking
Oh, it's probably down horrendous.
yeah, especially when there's a 46 mil. Yeah, dude, damn. Yeah, down 90 like everything else, but yeah, no, I mean, who knows? I mean, this might be a play eventually. The Milady Colt, super influential. A lot of people on crypto Twitter and shit, obviously. But Yeah, Milady again. Yeah, Azuki, Doodles, any of that stuff. I feel like in a bull run, those are the leaders. Those will probably do numbers. But again, if you're looking for value buy, I would go with V Friends or V Friends Series 2. Honestly, I think crazy
Oh
upside.
yeah. You want to answer Hugo's question about what to buy? There was something about
Where is it? I'm trying to find it.
Super Incentive, Giga SPX.
Oh, sorry, Hugo. My bad,
Wayne.
brother. Let me try to. Let me look at it. Fuck, it's not loading. Can you let me see it on the stream. Panda asks, why doesn't Twitter show live view? I don't know, man. That's what I've always. I don't know. Yo, Ethan, what's up, man? From the Telegram. I appreciate you for being on, brother. They'll be recording if you just hopped on. Yeah, Hugo, let me find your question, bro. I don't know if you can pin it. Okay, I see it. Before we go into NFTs, super indecisive on whether to big Giga or SPX on Sol. SPX/Sol. SPX is on Giga, so I don't know if you mean and Sol or whatever. I only want to choose one, but Graphane is another one I'm considering. What do you think? So I think the best approach is to always, even if you only have $100, man, like split that up between those few, right? I think all of those you named, especially the first two, because they've been through this shit before, are gonna do really well. And then Graphane, I think, will do as well. I think there's actually people building stuff on there, and there was like real tech there, from what I understand. But yeah, I mean, if you really like those three, bro, even if you have, I don't care how much money you have, split it up between those three instead of trying to determine which one. So that's how I would handle that. I think all of those will very likely have a resurgence once price goes back up or once conditions improve. Um, but yeah, man, That's how I'd always handle that. Giga SPX especially, man. I have very high strong conviction in it because again, they've had these corrections before and came out on the other end. Seeing a lot of people comment and like the stream. I appreciate you guys. Um, yeah, the lawsuit on OpenSea obviously got dropped, which
Yeah,
is
live. I mean, they're just dropping every single one at this point. Like,
yeah,
unless you're like an outright scammer, they're dropping it.
yeah, because they're all revolving around securities laws, and it seems like they're going to actually make clarity on what's like a security and what isn't. And obviously, these different things are offering NFTs. They're not classifying as security, so why should they be investigating
Right.
them for being securities things? So it's a lot of sense.
Yeah, they pretty much dropped everything at this point. I think for the most part.
Yeah,
There's still, I think, what CyberKong still exists on the NFT side of things, but
yeah,
Hugo was the big one for them to have dropped. So I think a lot of those risks, etc., is pretty much done with. So that's the excellent part of it all.
hell yeah. No, what was I gonna say? Oh, and then friggin' Richard Hart from Hex. That shit got dropped too, which is kind of blows my mind. Um, you guys familiar?
I don't know. I
Richard,
don't think
You
so.
know Richard Hart, this guy that everybody memes with he always wears the Gucci and shit, and he's like the leader of Hex. This guy, nobody.
No. What the fuck is that?
That was some AI shit. But he turned him into a fucking Mog shit. That's fucking sick, actually. But
That's that new AI that can transform between photos.
yeah, Rhodes, are you familiar with Richard Hart?
No, and I feel like I should be, but I guess my timeline's not.
He's just been around the coin Hex. It's been around since 2021. Was like really high in market cap. It's kind of like this Ponzi type thing that like it's hard to explain. Every transaction, like some of it goes into this other thing, which I don't know, contributes like a flywheel that kept it going up. And like every transaction that somebody makes, some of it goes into this guy Richard Hart's wallet. And there's kind of a big cult around it. And he got charged with this big thing with the SEC, which looked like he would have gotten like time or serious fine. And but that whole thing got dropped too. So yeah, it looks like they're dropping everything. You might have seen him on the timeline. He's like always wearing the people like make memes out of it and shit. But yeah, interesting. They're dropping everything. Damn, we've been on here for yeah. We'll get off in about 5 or so. Hugo says thanks. I'll do that. Chad's being Chad's. I appreciate you, Hugo. Hugh Bin says, "Have I looked at ARC?" Now we'll do that. Yeah, ARC still looks pretty corrective on the charts. That it looks a lot better than a lot of these coins. Still down 80%, consolidating for about a month now. If it's able to shift up here, come back above 400, I think it's a very good chance it goes back to all time highs, or at least makes a big run. But yeah, I think just based looking on the chart, I think ARC has a good chance of being one of the ones that actually comes out of this correction. Um, but yeah, 1.8. It's a record.
Yeah. Is you think Max gonna come back, or he's just too busy on the phone?
I think I don't know. I probably won't come back at this point. I think we should get off here in a second. Eman says, "When's Yonwick coming back?" Yoni will be back on here next streamer here pretty soon. Yoni's still in the game again. The trenches and whatever for AI stuff's been down, so not much
Yeah.
going on. But Yoni will be back on soon. He's a huge core member of the show, so we'll be on. But yeah, great fucking show today, guys. Honestly,
100%.
love that from Max, and we'll have him on. I mean, probably every week as whenever he can make it. So we'll continue to have insight from him. So if you're on the stream, you saw came in from the Bossman channel, Twitter, whatever. We do these streams twice a week, Tuesdays like today at 1 p.m. PST, and then we do a Friday show at 10 a.m. PST. We're gonna have Max on like every week. We have Yoni who does more of the AI stuff in the trenches and in general. All these guys from B3L, everybody. So it's a great show. So check us out again on Friday. We'll be back. We're gonna set up more stuff as things heat up again. Interviews, different great guests like Max, and other people. So look out for that. If you have any suggestions for the show or anything you want to see, definitely DM me or put it under the channel. Follow everybody on the panel. I think at some point, probably here soon. Again, we'll be doing it on my channel. Sometimes we'll be doing it on here, I'm sure. But definitely follow everybody on the panel, the B3L, everybody that's tagged there, Max especially, and yeah, everybody will be putting out more content and tweeting. I want to see Rhodes tweeting everybody as well. So definitely follow my boy Rhodes. And yeah, we'll be back here on Friday. Any closing thoughts on your Rhodes or Dexy?
No. I'm looking to watch the pump, see what Trump talks about today, and then yeah, see you guys Friday.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. All right. I'll see you guys later. Appreciate
Take
you.
care.
Peace.
Take care, guys. Peace.